What's up my guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Nandan. I'm a senior undergrad at UW Madison, and today I'm gonna share with you 10 things that I wish I knew before freshman year. Alright, firstly, high school and college classes are very different. Professors for the most part don't track who's in class or who's not, and again this differs class to class, so please check this out. But since discussion sections are where the majority of the work happens, that is the most important thing because they share with you things that are happening on the exams or on the homework questions. And teaching assistants usually like it when you ask them a bunch of questions. So, just go ahead and do that if you don't want to show up for lecture. Secondly, university classes have a starkly different class structure. I know that most of you might not be in international curriculums, so majority of the work you do depends on your grade in the final exam. Well, in university, this isn't completely the case. Your grades in classes are usually split across 4 different sectors. That means discussion attendance, your midterms usually weighted less, finals usually weighted slightly higher, and projects or papers that are spread across the semester. So if you're behind on your work like I am, 3. You can actually have a life beyond studying. Now, in school, you wake up sleep deprived and then come back around like 4 p.m. just to get your ass beat because you didn't do work. Or maybe that might have just been me. Now, it may be hard to do a bunch of things in your first semester, but you can always do stuff other than just studying. If you want to find out some good stuff to do around either Madison or someplace, just try googling for what you're interested in. Or you could join a student org, which is one of my other points coming up. Now the 4th thing, it's extremely easy to party. Now because I don't want to get deported by ICE.
ICE, don't arrest me.
Let me just talk in hypothetical situations. Hypothetically, if you wanted to find a party, the easiest way to do this is you will always know a friend of a friend who's in a frat who's going to invite you to party anyway, so safe to say that's your best choice. Not gonna lie, some of them are actually pretty good, If you wanted to go to bars.
Alright, how else can we get alcohol?
Hypothetically,
Flawless shit.
you might know a friend of a friend who can help you do that.
Alright, that's good. It's hard to trace.
Hypothetically. And to be honest, most campus communities don't really give a shit because as long as you're not a nuisance to the community, it's completely fine. But sometimes, things happen. Things happen. Okay, speaking of partying, of course the topic of peer pressure comes into the question, but honestly from what I've experienced, no one really forces you to do anything that you don't want to if you explicitly say no. Fun fact, 88% of you watching this video might not be subscribed to my channel, so if you like my content, consider subscribing. Now, of course, this heavily depends on the people you spend your time with, but for the average college-going person, no one really forces you to do anything. And if you don't want to vibe to, party kind of things, you can always spend your time just vibing to music. And the next thing I wish I knew is something that might be a little sappy, but it's true. And it's that university is about finding out, what kind of shit you like to do. Just try a bunch of random shit. Now, the reason I bring this up is because someone from my YouTube community messaged me saying that she didn't believe that she wanted to go abroad because she didn't get into university that she was well ranked enough to go to make her family proud. If you're an international student watching this, I understand. International students like you and I tend to place a lot of importance on the ranking of the place, so much so that you tie your personal worth to it, and honestly, it's not worth it. The more semesters you stay, the more you'll realize that literally everyone's winging it. So regardless of which path you choose, you're gonna end up growing either way, so just pick whatever you like doing, wing it. I made a video about that, link somewhere like here. A good way to do this is by picking a hobby that keeps you sane. For example, I try to do this as often as I can, so that's completely not related to studies, but it's still, something fun that I like doing. So pick something like that for you, because sometimes university, especially mid-semester, can get hella fucking intense. If you're too lazy to come up with something to do yourself, just try joining a student organization. There's usually a student org fair at the beginning of every semester, and you get to meet a lot of like-minded people and try completely different things that you never would have thought you would do in high school. A couple of groups that I joined in my time here is the Entrepreneurship Group, Batch of Films, and Wisconsin Engineering Magazine, all 3 of these experiences were pretty fun. So regardless of what you like to do, I'm sure there's a student org out there for you, and if there isn't, you can feel free to start one of your own. You'll find like-minded people. It's pretty cool that way. Now, the 9th tip, whatever this is specific to international students, and is that you can work part-time for an unlimited duration. Now, this is something that I recently found out and that I had a misconception of, so I thought sharing this would be helpful for you. Please note that I'm in no way, shape or form an immigration attorney or some shit. I'm just recommending this to you. Do your own research on this, it's your responsibility. To begin with, most useful summer internships might occur after your sophomore year, so you could apply for that, and if you do get the opportunity to extend to part-time, I would say take it up and work for as long as you'd like. If not, you can also work a campus job, which usually tends to pay above of like $10 depending on what job you get, and that could also be a good source of income for your party needs.
Every day, hundreds of kids go into the liquor store.
And the last tip is that all of the academic flowcharts you see are just recommendations on what you can do. You can shuffle around the classes as you'd like and take them at any point, provided that you meet your graduation requirements before you graduate. This might be useful because some of your friends might not be taking the class at the same time that you are. Once again, just ask your academic advisor so that you don't find out in your last semester that you have to stay another semester.
1 hour later.
I would also highly recommend getting an internship or a co-op if you can, because this gives you a different taste of how the real world works in comparison with the classes you take. From my experience, working life is very, very different from college life, which is already different from what you do in high school. So this could give you a good overview of how your classes and stuff tie in with the internship or the co-op that you're doing, and whether you actually like what you're doing. Moving to university is honestly a great experience, but it can be slightly overwhelming if you don't know what you want to do, or more importantly, which place you want to call home. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I made a video about that that you can watch here. Or if you want to check out something a little more vibey, check this one out. If you value this content, consider leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. I'd really like to know what you think and what kind of stuff you want to watch more of. And with that, I'll see you next week. A couple of suggestions are trying out son of a